Hell Clock. It's a roguelite action RPG. While it was developed by Rugal Snail and published by Med Mushroom. You might be familiar with Rugal Snail as they made the Relics Hunter Legend, which I did make a video quite while back, I guess. Well, they even noted the similarities and differences between the two titles. This is a vastly different game, though. This is a vastly different game. Well, the first, let's start about Set. Set is 1903 in Brazil, 8 years after the very real Candus massacre, which left 25,000 people dead as you play a payehu, a clockmaker, and a gunslinger. As he travels down into the depths of the hell to save the soul of his mentor, the counselor, well, it deals with religious themes and includes actual historical figures of the time, which I found really interesting. Most of it did fly over my head. I wasn't exactly the best history student, especially in the history of Brazil. No offense for my Brazil subscribers, but post game research did enlighten me about it. And even that doesn't really get a lot of mainstream coverage in the media, which makes for a narrative that goes into some serious places. Do take note that default audio language is Portuguese, but that can be changed in the settings to the English if you dislike reading. However, I did really enjoy playing throughout the game with the Portuguese audio, like the songs and stuff. No, there wasn't songs. I'm just joking around. It's more authentic to the setting, and I didn't mind missing dialogues because I was too busy shooting the damn back into the ground. The art and the style really draw me in before I even touch the game. It's a dark, it's a dreary, like an animated comic book that you can control. If you want a comparison, it's like a darkest dungeon in its visuals, and it's nice. There are plenty of indicators and highlights that ensure that you never lose sight of Payejo as he moving down the undead. It's kind of cool that there are 2D art matches with 3D models. Especially, I appreciate the clothes and equipment you gain on Payel. I really like that little touch seeing the clockmaker go from plain clothes to proper attire fitting for a gunslide warrior. But enough of waiting, enough of discussing. Let's get into the gameplay. And let me preface this by saying it's a freaking awesome. You'll be rushing throughout rooms filled with enemies and the loot, trying to make it to the exit as fast as possible, while also collecting enough buffs and level ups to beat the bosses that guard each layer of the hell. At your most basic, you can move, interact, and that's it. Everything else is based on the skills you have chosen before your run. Even your basic dash and attack can be removed and replaced with something else, like slowing down time or summoning a bell to smash enemies to pause. You unlock more skills as you beat each act. You can stay in hell for long though. The titular hell clock is constantly counting down, and once it hits zero, your run ends regardless of any ability you have. The timer does freeze during the important encounters or just by hitting the pause, but if you would like to add more stress to your playthrough, you can disable that little crutch in the main menu. You can add more time via the skill tree, or throughout the random drops, or by defeating bosses, or by something else. You will find out. But your attempt will end somehow, either by that or by time. So this is the two pathways. It's a very interesting mechanics that doesn't feel oppressive, at least to me, but some people might find it. I tend to explore and take my time, but here I found myself rushing and shifting my priorities, playing riskier than I usually like to do, which basically means the game puts you in that frame. This helped by all mega updates you can obtain between your attempts. Throughout your run, you collect soul stones, and total number of you obtain will contribute to your memory level, which will provide a skill point when you increase it. From there, you can spend those points to make Payao stronger, like stat increases, adding red portals to skip floors, and so much more. You can instantly feel the difference with each upgrade, and given the frequency of the soul stones, you'll always have something to spend every time when you come back to base. If you don't like your build, you can reset all your skill points in exchange for the soul stones, which is nice. As you challenge hell in time and time again and again, you unlock relics that you can equip that provide randomized bonuses, and with that, bravery relics change how your skills function. You don't lose them when a round ends, which is pretty unique, but you're only limited by the time grid based inventory and you don't start with too many slots. Overall, I really love how clock goes about its progression system. There's the really sense of improvement as you get through areas faster, skip floors that only serve to waste your time and melee bosses, so you just get that little bit further with each cycle of the clock. You will eventually hit the walls, but have the patience to keep pushing it through it. I really appreciate the amount of reliability featured in the Hell Clock. Well, after you beat in the game, and you can assess the session mode. Well, it's just a free mode, which is currently in beta. Well, by the time of you see this video, it resets your required levels, relics, gear, and soul stones, but you can now modify your difficulty to turn into the harsh lesson in futility via the penance tree. While you can also purchase the upgrades, like in the main campaign, trips into hell are limited, so you need to make the most of each run. Your only advantage is that all skills are unlocked from the start. Essentially, a session shift the game genre from a roguelike to roguelike. And if it's not enough of your pain, you can always try the hardcore difficulty you can select before you start a new game. Where running out of the clocks is preferable to the death, as if you lose all your HP, you save is deleted. Have fun! Onto the performance now. It's great. With my graphics on a Hive, I run perfectly with no drops, 60 FPS all the way down, which is awesome. And Hellclock has been getting patched on a frequently basis, so I don't expect that little issue lasts for the long because it's always maintained very well. So, I really enjoy my time with the Hell Clock. It balances an aspect just right: narrative, gameplay, progression, and the difficulty. Although my initial impression was leaning towards Hades, and that's what my impression, because I was really feeling that, and Hades is in my heart. It turns out to be more like roguelike Diablo or the Path of Exile than anything else, but you'll understand when you get into that. Hordes of enemies charging straight at you, gold and trinks dropping like a rain, and skills assigned to every button. The reputation might wear you down, but that comes with the theory of roguelikes. Just watch the clock, you might lose yourself down in hell. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow my social media, subscribe my YouTube channel, to comment on this video. Your peace.